Hello, friends. Welcome to Betkraft, your home of short football bet analysis and predictions. Okay, today we have a lot of games going on across the globe, and we have these games that we selected. We do have games in Denmark, we have games in Sweden, as well as in Italy, both Serie B and Serie A. We also have game in Norway. Okay, so these games we looked into and looked at the analysis of the past head-to-head and also their recent performances. We checked some of these games, see whether in those past games they had, whether they had an over 2.5 goals, or did they have a goal encounter, or how much goal they scored in the previous encounter prior to this very encounter. So all of those things are put into consideration, and we come up with the very best verdict for these very games. And today we're going to start. But for those of you who are coming across our video for the very first time, I kindly urge you to take our time to subscribe, click the subscription button down there so that you do not miss out on our content that we dish out every day, and in that way you also help us grow in this very channel. Thank you very much for doing so. And I will start in earnest. The first game that we have for you today is in Denmark Super League, and where we have Mighty Land coming up against Nordsjælland in Danish Super League division. And as usual, we'll take a look at how they fared in the past 20. We'll see that for the home side, Mighty Land in the past 20, they've had 12 wins and they have 2 draws and 6 losses in the past 20 games of here so far. And the away side, all right, have seen 11 wins. They've as well had four draws and 5 losses in the past 20 games of here so far. So it is the home side who's actually topping the league in Danish division, and we have the other side, the away side, actually ranked 4th in the Danish division. So looking at the recent encounters, how they performed, we see that in the past 5 for Mighty Land, they have been able to win 4, and they have had just 1 loss in the past 5 games of here so far. And Northern on the other hand, have been able to manage 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in the past 5 games of here so far. And I think we'll take a look at how they fared in head-to-head. We see that the head-to-head encounter have seen Midland, winning this encounter, 4 times out of 8, and Northern winning on 1 occasion, and the other 3 occasions saw them playing out a draw. Okay, and judging by the head-to-head, because we know that Midland has been very dominant in this very encounter, and being the league toppers, we expect them also to do very well in this very encounter to pick up the spoils. So the verdict for this game is that the home side, Midland, to win outrightly in this very encounter. Okay, and going to the next that we have, the next game that we have for you is also in Spanish, in Danish Super League, and where we have Copenhagen coming up against Brøndby. Copenhagen is ranked 3rd at the moment, and Brøndby is 2nd in the Danish Super League division. And looking at how they fared in the past 20, you could see that the home side have had 9 wins and 3 draws, as well as 8 losses in the past 20 games of here so far. And the away side have seen 11 wins, as well as 6 draws and 3 losses in the past 20 games of here. Looking at the recent performances, we see that Copenhagen, the home side, in the past 5 games have managed 3 wins and 2 losses. Okay, and one of those losses coming up against Manchester City in a UEFA Champions League game, and also the other loss was against the Mighty Land in a Danish Super League match. And Brøndby, on the other hand, have seen 4 wins out of 5. Okay, having 1 draw against Vejle in the Danish Super League match. So it is a very tight encounter, and both sides are quite good. And seeing that they're neck and neck at the moment, we expect to play safe in this very game, and we went for another 1.5 in this very encounter. But it is at least 2 goals coming up in this very game. Okay, and the next is an Indian Super League, where we have Hyderabad FC coming up against Mumbai City. Okay, as usual, we'll take a look at how they fared in the past 20 for the home side. Yeah, they have been able to manage 1 win, and they've had 4 draws and as well as 14 losses in the past 20 games of here so far. And the away side, on the other hand, Mumbai City have seen 11 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses in the past 20 games of here, making them the top team in India Super League. All right. And okay, looking at the recent encounter, we could also see that the home side have managed just one win and they've had three losses and one draw in the past time in the 5 games I've had. And the away side Man City have been able to accrue 3 wins and 2 draws in the past 5 games I've had so far. Okay. And putting that all of that into consideration, we know that the away side, Mumbai City is much more fancy to pick up the score, seeing that they're the league toppers and they're doing very well in the league. So we expect a away win. That's what verdict in that very game, and that takes us to Italy, where we'll have in Italian Serie A, we'll have Bologna coming up against Salernitana, and Bologna is currently ranked fourth in Italian Serie A. They'll be looking to to cement their place in the having a UEFA Champions League position. Okay, and Salernitana is actually the worst team in the league, seeing that they are ranked 20th in the Italian league. And looking at how they fared in the past 20, you could see that Bologna have won 12 and they've had 4 draws as well as 4 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And away side, Salernitana in the past 20 have managed just 2 wins and they've had 4 draws and 14 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And looking at the recent performance for both sides. So we'll see that Bologna in the past 5 have been able to, manage 4 wins and 1 loss, and that loss coming up against the league leaders Inter Milan on that occasion. And their away side have seen just 1 draw in the past 5 games, and they've had 4 losses out of 5 in the past 5 games they've had so far. And the head-to-head meetings for this side in the past head-to-head, I've seen Bologna defeating this side on 2 occasions and having 3 draws also in the head-to-head meetings for both sides. And okay, that being said, we believe that the home team, Bologna, who is in very fine form this season, will take the spoils in this very encounter. It's his home win. That's our verdict for that very game. And the next game that we have for you is also in Italian Serie A, where we have Lecce coming up against AS Roma in Italian Serie A match. And AS Roma also is a team that is ranked 5th at the moment. They'll be looking to see how they can push towards this Champions League position. And looking at the home side, Lecce, who is ranked 13 at the moment, is in the past 20 games they've been able to manage 3 wins. They've had 6 draws as well as 11 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And their away side, Roma, we saw the resurgent Roma since Daniele De Rossi took over from Mourinho. We see that the away side Roma have had 11 wins as well as 4 draws and 5 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And taking a look at the recent performances for both sides, we'll see that the home side in the past 5, they have been able to manage just 1 win. They've had 1 draw as well as 3 losses in the past 5 games they've had so far. And the away side, AS Roma, in the past 5 have seen 3 wins as well as 1 draw, 1 loss in the past 5 games they've had so far. That loss coming up against Brighton in the second leg of Europa League match, and we know that Roma won on that in the first leg, and they putting the both sides together, they came out victorious in that very encounter with Brighton. And also looking at the head-to-head for both sides, you could see that in the past 8 head-to-head have seen AS Roma winning this tie on 6 occasions out of 8. On Lecce winning on 1 occasion and the other one being a draw. So in this very game, we know that Roma is quite dominant side. They're expected to pick up the spoils in this very game. Away side to win. That's our verdict in this very game. And that takes us to Italian Serie B, where we have Sampdoria coming up against Nana in the Italian Serie B. We know that Sampdoria recently have been very, very, resurgent side, doing so well recently, and they're ranked 7th in the Italian Serie B, and as well as Nana ranked 16th in the Italian Serie B. And then looking at how they fared in the past 20, you could see that the home side, Sampdoria, in the past 20 have had 10 wins, have had 3 draws and 7 losses, and the away side have had 7 wins, 5 draws and 8 losses in the past 20 games out there so far. And we take a look at how they fared in recent occasions. We'll see that in the past 5, the Sampdoria have been able to win 4 out of the past 5 games they've had, and they've had just 1 loss against Cremonense, on that occasion. And the away side, Tanana, have seen just 2 wins, and they've had 2 losses as well as 1 draw in the past 5 games they've had so far. And also, what you note is the fact that those the head-to-head meets and head-to-head meetings for both sides have seen Sampdoria, being very, very dominant, defeating Tanana on both occasions. So it is Sampdoria who is in fine form at the moment that is expected to pick up the sport in this very game. It is home win. That's our verdict for this very game. Okay. And the next is also in Italian Serie B, where we have Parma, who is the league leaders at the moment in Italian Serie B, coming up against Catanzaro, who is ranked sixth in Italian Serie B. And we take a look, we'll see that the home team in the past 20 games have been able to win 11 times. They've had 7 draws as well as 2 losses. And their away side, on the other hand, have seen 8 wins, 4 draws, and 8 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And looking at the recent performances for both sides, you could see that Parma in the past 5 games they've had, they've been able to achieve 3 wins and 2 draws in the past 5 games they've had. Okay, and the away side, Catanzaro, have as well seen 3 wins as well as 1 draw and 1 loss in the past 5 games they've had so far. And then head-to-head meeting for both sides featured just one game, which happened the last year, or September last year, seeing Parma defeating Catanzaro on that occasion from away by 5 goals to 0. Okay, bringing all that together, we know that Parma is a very strong side and is expected to pick up the sports in this very game. Seeing that they're playing from their home turf, we expect them to win outrightly in this very game. It is home win. That's our verdict for this very game. And that takes us to the next game that we have. And that game is in Norway, where we have, Fredrikstad coming up against Bodo Glimt in Norway, Electronic League. As we will say, take a look in the past 20 for the home side. We see that the home side have been able to win 12. They've had 5 draws as well as 3 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And the away side, Bodo Glimt, who is the top ranking team in Norway, have had 11 wins, 1 draw, and 8 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And also taking a look at the recent performances, have seen Fredrikstad, winning 2 and having 3 draws in the past 5 games they've had, as well as taking a look for the away side, we see that Bodo Glimt have just won just one game, losing 3 and 1 draw in the past past 5 games they've had so far. And what you'll note is that those games for Fredrikstad is they are a friendly match and they're not really league matches. So when it comes to the league match, Bodo Glimt is quite indispensable and they're doing so well. And I expect them to pick up the sports in this very game. Also, what you'll note is that the head-to-head proceeding for both sides. I've seen Bodo Glimt defeating this side on 2 occasions. So we expect Bodo Glimt, their away side, who's a better side, to pick up the sports in this very game. It is a way win. That's our verdict in that game. And that takes us to the next game, also in Norwegian League, where we have Tromsø coming up against Brian. And also in this very game, we'll take a look at the past for both sides. We'll see that for the home side, in the past 20, they have had 9 wins, as well as 1 draw and 10 losses. And the away side have seen 14 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses in the past 20 games they've had. And taking a look at the recent performance for both sides, we see that Tromsø, in the past 5 games, have lost the entire 5 games they've played so far. They have lost the entire thing, compared to Brann, their away side, who has won 4 out of 5 games they've had, losing just 1 to Molde on that occasion. And taking a look at the head-to-head proceedings for this side, I've seen in the past 8, I've seen Brian winning on 3 occasions, as well as Tromsø winning also on 3 occasions. So we expect this very game, Brann, to pick up the spoils, because they are actually a team that is in a better form compared to the home side. Okay, we expect Brann to win this game outright. Away win, that's our verdict. And but that takes us to Portugal, where we have in the Portuguese Premier League, we have Portimonense coming up against Braga. Okay, we could take a look. We'll see that in the past 20 for the home side, they have had 5 wins, 3 draws, and 12 losses. And away side, Braga have managed 10 wins. They've had 4 draws and 5 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And also, taking a look at the recent performances, we could see that the home side have had 2 draws and 3 losses in the past 5 games. And the away side have seen 4 wins and 1 draw in the past 5 games they've had so far. The away side, Braga, is a team that is very much in good form at the moment. Also, taking a look at the head-to-head, we could say that in the past 8 head-to-head have seen Braga defeating the side on 6 occasions, and Portimonense just having victory only on 1 occasion, and the other occasion being a draw. So we could say that Braga really having bragging rights in this very encounter. We expect them to win outrightly. Away win. That's our verdict in this very game. And that takes us to the last game of the day, which is in Sweden, where we have IFK Göteborg coming up against Jugadin in Swedish League. Also, we take a look at how they've fared in the past 20. We see that the home side, Göteborg, have had 7 wins, 4 draws, and 9 losses in the past 20 games they've had. And the away side, Jugadin, have seen 10 wins, 3 draws, and 7 losses in the past 20 games they've had so far. And taking a look at the recent performances for both sides, we will see that the home side have been able to manage 3 wins and 2 losses. And the away side, Jugadin, have seen 4 wins out of 5, and they've had 1 draw in the past 5 games they've had so far. And that puts Jugadin in the driver's seat. And we see that for the head-to-head encounter, also Jugadin is very dominant, defeating this side on 3 occasions out of 8, and the home side Göteborg, having the upper hand on 2 occasions. Okay, and the other 2 occasions, the other 3 occasions, seeing them play out to draw. Okay, and that bringing all that together, we know that Jugadin also is a very strong side and is expected to pick up the sports in this very game. It is away win. That's our verdict for this very game. Okay, that concludes our predictions for Monday, first day of April 2024. Okay, I hope to see you. I hope to see you succeed. I hope your ticket goes green, and I also hope to see you again tomorrow for the next predictions. But until then, keep winning.